Hi, this is Renaud Joran. So, the Chinese government has announced that the process to export products will change on October 1st of this year, 2025. Okay, so they came out with an announcement. It's all in Chinese, and we're not going to go through it anyway, line by line about what it means. But the idea is that until now, we could export products out of China different ways. So the situation is some companies do everything, let's say, by the rules. Okay. So there's like already sort of a formal way to manufacture and export. Okay. And I'm going to cover that. And a lot of companies were not following the formal way. There are companies where buying components from even personal accounts, doing some manufacturing, then exporting it in the name of another company, sometimes a logistics company that has an export license, and okay, it's in the scope of the export license, and okay, so they can export it as long as the products were not highly regulated anyway. That's okay. Obviously, if you pay from personal accounts, you do that to dodge the tax. You don't pay the value-added tax. Chinese government is not going to be happy if they find out about it, obviously, right? But a lot of people are still operating that way, and it's actually not a level playing field for serious manufacturers, right? So they want to end that. They want to collect their VAT. They want to have, let's say, manufacturers on a tighter leash. They want to have more control. Okay, nothing surprising here. And a few years ago, I drew this that graph, okay, where we show the formal way, and basically three things need to align. Okay, three things need to align. Imagine, so you have component suppliers delivering components to one manufacturer, and then that manufacturer exporting to an importer. Okay, so the formal way is that these different parties have a sales contract between them. Okay, obviously the goods, there's a flow of goods, right? The component suppliers deliver the goods to the assembly manufacturer that does assembly, let's say, to simplify, and then the assembly manufacturer exports. Okay, so the goods flow like this. There's a certain flow, which, yeah, is normal in manufacturing, right? They also want to see the flow of money from company bank account to company bank account, right? So the importer sends to the assembly manufacturer's bank account. Then that assembly manufacturer's bank account buys the components from the different component suppliers. So the money flows to these different suppliers' bank accounts. Okay. And the VAT and the proper invoice, like the formal invoice, okay, the FAPIA, the component suppliers need to issue the formal tax invoice, let's say, to the assembly manufacturer. The assembly manufacturer need to issue the formal tax invoice, etc. And that's for all the companies that collect the VAT rebate. They have to prove that they follow this flow, they follow this logic already. Otherwise, they cannot collect VAT rebate. But there's a lot of companies that just do a lot of things under the table, very freestyle, let's say, don't even care about collecting VAT rebate because VAT has not even been paid all along. So now they really want to enforce this, what I would call the formal way. As part of the new export rules, based on the new policy coming on October 1st, the manufacturer will have to be declared, okay, who is the manufacturer that like did the final manufacturing of these products as they are exported. And the manufacturer, if I understand, now all of this is based on our understanding, okay, reading the policy, talking to various freight forwarders, etc., trying to understand what's going on. Okay, that manufacturer will have to show that they have purchased all the components that make up that product, right? They purchased it in a formal way, so they purchased it themselves, okay, and they paid for it, right? So that has some implications, and some of our customers are like, "Ooh, okay, we need to make some adjustments before October 1st." That's why this is quite timely. So I'm going to take a few scenarios, right? One scenario is that let's say a foreign buyer wants to have control, some control, so and they buy some of the components themselves. This happens sometimes, right? And sometimes it's long lead time components when they're developing the product and they don't they have not selected the contract manufacturer yet, right? So that happens. That happens. Not necessarily for bad reasons. Okay, it happens a lot. And then they send it to their manufacturer and they say, hey, use that to make the product, and I already bought it, and just reduce the price, because obviously you're not buying it. Okay, until now it's not the formal way. It's not what the Chinese government likes to see. I guess most serious manufacturers have been trying to avoid that as much as possible. There is a compliance risk, right? But it was more or less manageable, let's say, as exceptions, at least. Okay, now with the new rules, the manufacturer will have to buy these components directly from the suppliers of these components. Okay, so for all the companies that have like some inventory somewhere that was not purchased through the formal way, well, try to manufacture that, get it out of China before October 1st, because after October 1st, that would be a problem, right? At export, the manufacturer will not be able to show that all of this was done in the formal way, and that might be a big problem. Okay, another topic is, yeah, a lot of people do some drop shipment and do manufacturing in China and then keep the goods in mainland China, and they sell it and they deliver it, they drop ship it little by little as they sell. So same thing, the goods that are made in the formal way, it seems like they can still be drop shipped after October 1st, but they will have to have been made in the formal way. All the goods that are in stock now that are made maybe 1, 2, 3 months ago and are getting drop shipped, if they were not made in the formal way, they have to get out of mainland China before October 1st, right? And these are just two implications. There's probably a lot of others. There's a lot of unknowns. A lot of things will get clarified with usage, let's say, as is typical. But remember, there will be a glut of shipment just before October 1st. October 1st is going to be usually is 4 or 5 days holiday, but then there's also this Qingming holiday that is kind of merged together. So this time is more like 5, 6, 7 days, maybe 8 days off. Okay, so a lot of people will want to ship before that, and with this new policy coming in place, I think a lot of people are going to try to move a lot of goods out of China, maybe to warehouses in Hong Kong or some other places, maybe some free trade zones here and there. They might get very, very full. So people who do not plan in advance might find it tough to get the goods out of China on time, to get the proper warehousing space, etc. Okay, that's it. I hope it's helpful. There was kind of a flash news, because it has, I think, a lot of implications for a lot of companies. Thank you, and let us know if you have questions.